I recognize names, but I haven't seen your face since before spring break.
Mhm.
If you want to just show your lovely faces and things like that so we can see you, that would be great. It is now 12:17, and I want to thank all of you for being here today as we have an opportunity to chat with Dean Sylvana Sudoka. We also have our featured speaker, Mark Peets. He is an alum of the illustrious Clark Atlanta University School of Business Administration. He'll come on a little later. So let's get started because I know you guys are really, really busy. And so I just have a few announcements. The one thing that I always like to do as an icebreaker, and this is because I'm nosy. So in the chat, if you would put, what is your favorite snack? I'm going to put mine in. You're going to be like, what is that? But I eat them every morning. So there you go. That's my favorite snack. So if you put, anything, all things that are chocolate. Mm-hmm. Okay, cookies. Oh, kettle popcorn. Oh, yes, ice cream. Yeah. Any others? Oh, donuts. Oh, yes. Those little Debbie oatmeal pies. Oh my God,
Yes.
nuts. Yes. Chocolate. Okay. So you know what? Next, whenever we have what you call those, where everybody can bring their own snack, we can share some snacks. Oh, I love honey buns. Oh yeah. Mangoes. Love it. So hopefully at some time in person, we can all share our favorite snacks. Oh, white chocolate, covered pretzels. Yes. Oh, I love all of that. You guys have all said everything that I love and I'm filled with it. So thank you so much for sharing. At this point, I did have a couple of things. I've already done my welcome, but I wanted to go over some announcements. You know, we're celebrating the 75th anniversary and the Dean's going to bring some additional information out about it. But I hope that you've noticed how beautiful we look on the outside of our building. We've got banners and things like that, but understand that we're celebrating. And I want you guys to bring that joy and happiness. So as we move forward in celebrating our 75th anniversary of the School of Business Administration, please, let's all be happy and joyful. The other thing I want to announce for those of you who are not graduating, I'll get to the graduates a little later, is that we're going to have advisement. We'll start next week, and I am your advisor. So we'll work together on mapping out your plans for your last year. Many of you are graduating next May. So we'll map out your plans for graduation. And at that time, I'm also going to ask you to, let's go ahead and apply for graduation. So we'll have that out of the way. The other thing is that registration will start on March 28th. And I'll send out a notice to all of you with this information. My advice is that you go ahead and make sure that your FAFSA is already complete so we can move forward in making sure that you're registered timely and you're all ready to start classes next August. The academic calendar is almost complete, but classes are going to start around the same time that it always has in the past. So expect to be starting on a Wednesday, about the second or third week of August. So we're looking forward to that. We offer a limited number of summer classes. And so if you're interested in summer school, we could talk about that. But for the MBA students, there are only 2 courses that are offered. And we could talk about that, but full-fledged scheduling will be available for fall. The other thing is that for many of you, especially those that are graduating, I know many of you have already found your placement and you're ready to start your career, and I want to congratulate you on those. For many of our first-year students, you've also found your summer internships. For those of you who have not, please continue to work with career services or seek other advice, do Handshake, Indeed, as we move forward to make sure that you're all ready and in place as you start working in your career over the summer to return. The other thing for the graduates, let's give you a great big hand. Yay. Graduation is in May. We're excited about that. There are 3 activities going on. On May 13th, we'll have the baccalaureate. And on that same day, the School of Business will be hosting its hooding ceremony. That time, that space and time has not been cleared by the university, but the university is expecting all graduate programs to hold their hooding ceremonies on Friday, May 13th. A great time for you to bring your parents out to be recognized only by your home, the School of Business Administration. On that Saturday will be the commencement, where you'll have an opportunity again to be recognized and understand that the ceremony of graduation is one of those things that you should feel, a point of us recognizing you and honoring you with all of your success. So come prepared for that. A couple of other things that's happening. I think that's it for my announcements: career services, financial aid, registration, and things like that. The other thing I want to mention is that you'll be receiving a questionnaire. I want to know how for those of you that are graduating, it'll be more like an exit interview where we're finding out where you're going and what you're doing and things like that. And then for those that are continuing, it'll be the similar, what you're doing, but also we'll be asking you for some insight about your experience in the first year. And we're always interested, and I want you to be really, 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 really give us the exact feelings of what you feel here. So it will only make us better. I'm not looking for you to tell me what I want to hear, what the dean or what the faculty wants to hear. We want to hear from you about your experience here and expect to receive that questionnaire coming out soon. So I don't want to delay this any longer. I think I'm probably gone over my time about 3 minutes. So without any more delay, I want to bring to you our dean, Dean Sylvanus Udoka. He's the dean of the School of Business. Welcome, Dean.
Dr. Jester George, good afternoon. Good afternoon to everyone. Thank you so much. And let me add my sincere thanks for all of you being here. I elect to do these events regularly to have an opportunity to just have a conversation with you. So the Dean's Fireside Chat with grad students is intended to be just that, a chat that allows us to exchange ideas. The purpose of these sessions, again, is to impart some information, but more importantly, take a chance to listen to you and hopefully try to address any concerns that you have. And so we'll move forward. Let me also, in these sessions, I tend not to be repetitive, but on this occasion, I think it's important enough to do so, to say congratulations to those of you who are graduating. We will take the time on the 13th during your hooding ceremony to properly honor you. Please plan to be there. These times in the life of the graduate student are very significant in my mind. And these are the times that we just take some time to honor you and give you some time to reflect on your time here at CAU. So plan to be there. These sessions, again, I'll try to go through rapidly. It's intended to impart some information to bring you up to date on what's going on in your school and give you an opportunity to maybe interact, ask questions, have a dialogue. So that is the intentions of this session. What we have this year, as you probably have seen, because you've all been invited to all of our programming, is that we are in the midst of celebrating the 75th year of the founding of the what is now the CAU School of Business Administration. And in that vein, Ms. Cole is going to share a slide, and you could see the events that we have undertaken already. And let me, as you can see, in August, we had a school-wide barbecue out on the lawn. I hope you were able to attend. A lot of these functions are widely publicized, and hopefully you get involved. I share this to indicate to you, if you've not been involved to date, get involved, get to know what's going on in your school. Because I want to emphasize this is your school and you have to treat it as such. Um, in September, we had the Dean's Executive Leadership Series, the beginning of it, the launch, which in this case is a fireside chat with leaders in their fields. We had Dr. Bill Picard as our first leader that we had on that series. I think Ms. Cole can probably put a link on the chat. All of these are available in the B School YouTube channel. You can go in and review all of this. They're all there. In October, we had the anniversary kickoff video that is also widely available. Please go see it if you've not seen it. It featured both a graduate and undergraduate student on the video, as well as myself and others, just laying out what is coming for this year. In November, we had the CAU salutes to the veterans. And this was a significant event because we hosted, this is done by CAU every year. And this year we were the hosts of this event. The theme for this year was honor and duty, reflecting forward. As you know, the theme for our year-long celebration is reflecting forward. And reflecting forward speaks to the fact that we have to reflect on the accomplishments of this school, which are immense, but be looking forward to what we can do in the future. So that was a very, very well attended event, very well done. From that point on, we have a series of what we call the Forward Forums. The Forward Forums is a series of these conversations with diverse innovators. These are people who are at the cusp, at the cusp of their field. Those who are changing the face and future of their industries. If you have not attended this, you miss a lot. Again, I encourage you to go see the recordings that we have of them. These are, we bring some young innovative leaders in their fields who are doing some tremendous things. And what this does is that it shows the direction that we are moving as a school, because each of these forums is hosted by a host department. The first one was on supply chain and logistics innovation, hosted by, of course, the supply chain program here in our school. The second was held last month, that had both the Entrepreneurship Week and Black History Month wrapped together, and we were able to capture that very well in that series. And let's see, Dr. Joseph George alluded to the banners. If you look around the building, there are some banners up on both sides of the building, on the promenade side and on the quad side. And these are, again, banners that commemorate this year's series of activities. And if we'll go to the next slide, we see that we have the next Forward Forum coming up, which is the National Women's History Month. And we capture women in leadership, women in business leadership. That is the theme for that. And there's another one in April that is the National Financial Literacy Month. We have attempted to align this forum series with what's going on around that period. And you can see the other forums that are coming up. I want to spend just a minute to talk about the upcoming things in September, because September is when we wrap up the year. The L45 conference is a very significant event in the history of Clark Atlanta University School of Business, because the forming of the business came as a result of the business conference that was hosted by Atlanta University, October 19th to the 20th, 1945. That conference brought all the what we call now HBCUs. At that time, there were 20 of them that attended this conference. And that conference led to the conversation from that conference led to the formation and standing up the Atlanta University Graduate School of Business. What we are trying to simulate is to bring back as many of those schools that are still in existence as possible for a conference to recreate that and have propel us forward into the future as it did in our starting. So that is a significant event. You'll hear more about it. Hopefully things will open up completely to where we could have all of you in the room when that happens. We, of course, we have the Dean's Legacy Leaders Luncheon that's coming up. That also is a significant event because we bring together and honor leaders who have led this program from in times past and bring them together and actually give some awards. We will introduce a new award that will be started at that luncheon. We will honor our trailblazers. We will honor our torchbearers. We will honor, I think there's a third group there. And we are going to launch this event at that particular luncheon. The culminating event is the anniversary banquet and gala that is also in September. Again, we wrap up everything for the year at that time. So I'm urging you to be attentive because again, I know that you do receive the announcements that comes about these events. I'll be there and see folks like yourselves who have left this program in a lot of cases and gone out there and done some great things in their lives, as you will hear from Mark Peaks today. These are folks that we are so proud to be associated with, and that's all of you. So please take some time, come out and enjoy a time with this, a lot of cases, alums and guests that we bring on. Dr. Jesse George mentioned just a quick segue, registration is coming up. Let me just say one thing for the benefit of planning in my office, that when it is time to register, please do so. Because I have to plan on classes that we will actually offer. And at a certain point, if I don't have enough people in a class, I will cancel that class. Because of limited resources, I have to know ahead of time, more than in the past, if we have enough people to put a class out there. If we don't, we will not. So please get advised, register early so that we can actually properly plan to make sure that you're progressing towards your careers, as we say. So those are some of the highlights of the events happening around your school. I will stop for a minute here and take some questions. Dr. Jesse George, is that the plan, or are we delaying that to the end?
I think that was the plan, but I don't want Mark to, I think that was the plan, to take the questions and then we'll have Mark to come and do his presentation on executive presence. So students, this is your opportunity to chat with the dean. Any questions you have about scheduling, timing, faculty, graduation, things like that, please let us hear from you. Okay, I guess we must be doing a good job.
Hi, this is Shannon.
Okay. I thought that would happen. Good. Okay, go for it.
I
You
was just
mentioned
saying-
summer classes. What did you plan on getting back to us later about that once things are confirmed? But what summer classes are in discussion about being offered?
the two summer classes that are currently on the schedule would be the strategic management course. That's a course that's required in the last semester in your second year. Sometimes some of our students may not make the grade, so we offer that class that will allow them to retake that class in the summer so they could graduate in the summer instead of waiting a whole year. The other class is a special problems class, and it's an elective course that anyone could take if they're interested. So those are the only two courses that we'll be offering to the full-time MBA. As for the working professional, their curriculum will include 8 credit hours, which would include leadership, economics, and legal course, which is about 8 hours. So the working professional would have a full semester. The full-time MBA, those are the only 2 classes that will be offered for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Douglas?
Hey, I have to get on the call a little late. Are the activities mandatory for students to go to?
Or the activities for the 75th anniversary?
Yeah. Yes, with the activities that were just being discussed.
Okay, Dean?
I did not hear the question. Please repeat.
Are they mandatory to attend?
Well, we do not make these activities mandatory. I prefer, especially for grad students, that you would attend because you should be there. You are the beacons of the school. So for these activities, we really would prefer to have you be there than try to make it mandatory.
I was just asking because I don't personally feel like CAU is really invested in me, so I don't think I'll be attending those events. But that was all.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Let's talk about your thought of that. CAU is not invested in you. Tell me more.
We can schedule a meeting if you would like, a one-on-one.
Okay, if you'd like to talk more about it, let's do so.
Okay, that's fine. I'll email you and set up a time for you.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Brooks.
I have a question. I wanted to know, is there any sort of ceremony that's going to be held for graduates that graduate during the fall semester, like December, instead of during the summer?
Usually not. The commencement ceremonies that we have at CAU has one commencement ceremony, and all of the activities surround that commencement ceremony in the spring. So typically fall graduates would also graduate during the commencement ceremony in the spring.
Thank you.
Certainly.
Ms. Brooks?
Hi, I just had a quick question about graduation, just about like the dates, and also ticket wise. I'm not too sure, I guess, because this is my first graduation with CAU, how that works. I know you mentioned the dates in your presentation just now, and also we did get a survey about which one we would prefer, like dates wise and tickets wise. So is the decision still being made, or is it the dates that you spoke on?
Dean, do you want to take that or you want me to take that?
You can tell them the dates. I'll come behind and just give a bit more context.
Okay. As mentioned, the dates are for Friday. You have the baccalaureate, which is usually in the morning, and then we'll have the hooding, the School of Business Administration hooding that afternoon. We're also planning to take class pictures. I just thought I would add that. And then on Saturday morning would be the commencement. And Dean, I'll let you go further into that.
And that is the 13th and 14th, right?
13th and 14th of May, yes.
Of May.
Yes.
So, Ms. Brooks, I understand there was a survey to everyone, and the results of that survey indicated that the preference was for this to be done on Saturday. and to be done at Panther Stadium. My understanding is that given that is at Panther Stadium, there is no limitation on the number of attendees or tickets that you could have. That is my understanding. I clearly thought that the university had sent out an announcement to this effect, but that is what I learned at one of the meetings, several meetings that I've been to, is that it was, since it was decided that it would be at the Panther Stadium, there is no limitation as to the number of tickets you would have to get your family to attend.
Okay, thank you so much for clarifying that.
Certainly. Other question, thoughts on other things happening? Anyone? This is really the time for this. This is the time to have conversations, and sometimes difficult, but no matter how difficult, we have to have those conversations.
Hey, friend, I'm gonna have to call you back, okay? Sorry, guys.
Other thoughts? Dr. Jester George, I'll pass it back on to you.
Okay.
Thank
No
you.
other thoughts? Everybody's fine? Everybody's happy? I see the smiles. I can't see behind the name, so I'm assuming that everybody's happy with some limitations there. So, go ahead, Jaden.
Hi. The dean, I don't know if I can just see him. Did he leave? Oh no, he's right there. I just have a question pertaining to like, I know you see a lot of stuff that's going on in the economy, especially with like inflation, and students, like especially graduate students, since we're adults, we have to keep up to date with stuff like this when it comes to, trying to make sure that we have what we need for living needs, and also making sure that we have what we need so that we can, be on campus and have the right mental to focus. Do you guys plan on making any changes while the first year is going to their second years when it comes to, time availability so that we can actually work more so that we can provide for ourselves and not really like struggle or have the, mental concerns of school and also like, financial balance?
That is a very, very good question, Jaden. And we have, that is the leadership of this B school. I've been having those conversations, and we are working to be as accommodating as we can in terms of timing for classes, because as you've pointed out correctly, these are challenging times. And we know that you all have to juggle so many things to balance your life and still be a good graduate student. So yes, there are initiatives we are putting in place to. We are really working very hard for my part, scheduling to make it easier for you to balance work and life as a graduate student. It's an area that needs improvement. It will be continuously improved, but that's where we're headed. Is that we need to we have to listen to what you just said and react to it accordingly. So yes, in fact, you probably will hear more about this as we go forward. So I hear you loud and clear. And from the B school standpoint, we are doing some things to address at least some of those issues.
Do you guys have any like first year graduate students who also can like sit in and actually like give their two cents or their perspective on things when it comes to like you guys having these meetings? Because I mean, if you guys have, these meetings about what the students want, sometimes like, even if it's me, I wouldn't mind just to give in my input or like give you a perspective of a student. because I would love to actually attend certain things when it comes to like, decisions based upon graduate students, because sometimes we're so out of the loop and sometimes we're struggling and we would want to know from an inside perspective.
There are actually periodically occasions that Dr. Jester George and others would bring grad students together. And in fact, I think she has a core team that would solicit input in some of the decisions we are working to make. So yes, there are opportunities for that, and we will do as much as we can to open up chances for you to share. And in fact, that is what these sessions are for. From my standpoint, there are things that happen behind the scenes that roll up to me. From my standpoint, we really provide these opportunities to hear from you, to get insights of where the pain points are, so that we can find ways to start to address them. So yes, Dr. Jesse George coordinates that effort for me. She periodically would have a work group of students that is doing some work and helping shape how we move forward. I see a hand up, Javon.
Yes, how you doing?
Well, how are you?
I'm doing fine. My question will be, will we be remote or in person for the next school year? Because a lot of us in class, we be working, so many of us can't come to class. And sometimes the teacher will be like, "Oh, we're gonna have in person one day, remote in another." But we need a clear understanding. What will we be doing for the next school year?
Great question. I can give you the university's position, which is that we will be fully on ground in the fall. As you all know, summer is fully online. All summer classes are fully online across the university. In the fall, we are fully on ground. And as you know, the way we look at things is we hope that this pandemic is on its way out, that we can just manage it going forward. Given that we should be on ground, and classes that are online will be clearly online, and classes that are face-to-face will be face-to-face. I don't think that they should not, again, hoping that we've gotten to a point in this pandemic that we no longer have to worry too much about all the things that has been an issue till now.
Sir, I have a question.
I'm not sure. I know it's Javon, did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Certainly. Okay, go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Good to see you. Dr. Jesse George, good to see you as well. So I guess my question was, we in the Work in MBA program, and probably I'm assuming other students as well, have been receiving, the emails, I think it's from Student Affairs, basically saying like, the COVID restrictions and stuff like that. And I don't want to say the threat, but like for lack of better word, that we're going to be, placed on like a probation or a warning status, as well as possible like suspension or something for not doing, I guess, the COVID testing. However, like, I work at Morehouse, and I know this doesn't work, for everybody else. And so we have been, doing the testing and stuff like that. But we were told, we would be fully virtual, so we wouldn't count in that like requirement because we're virtual. I've sent them multiple emails on this, but I mean, maybe it's just the automatic email that happens, but I don't know if there's any way to get, us, the working professionals, I guess, on that list. Because I don't even know what my status is, to be honest, to see if I am like in the suspension or probation category.
Jenna Kearney, thank you for bringing that up. I was not aware of that. For students who are clearly not expected to be on campus, I think there's a process, and let me have my office check and share that process with you, the working professional students. There is a process because there are instances. Let me give an example. If we have students who are finishing their theses, their dissertations, they would fall in that category because they don't necessarily have to be on campus. But if that message goes out, it probably goes out to them. So there has to be a way to delineate. And for those of you that will not be on campus, allow us to address that directly. So I will make inquiries of the provost office, and we'll share that information shortly.
Ms. Hutchinson?
Hello. My question is not for this semester, but for the upcoming year. Is there any way for courses that are, I guess you would describe rigorous, that you guys could plan before the semester begins, tutors and designated tutor times for these courses? Because I know as far as this semester, it's all over the place and it's very unorganized. And so for the upcoming year, I would much rather it be organized for rigorous courses that second years have to take.
That also is a good question. And let me share my experience. Whenever there has been a request for tutors, we really don't have a good structure right now to have tutors. So we have to go out and find them. The one thing that will be very helpful is the actual utilization of tutors, because not your group, not your set. I think I remember when we actually went out and secured tutors, and those tutors are available and no one is there to see them. I'm going to take what you said and work with our team to see if we can, and Dr. Jesse George, let's have a conversation about how we can work to arrange tutors. If we can get the second year students to tutor the first years, we can find some way to do that. But yes, that is a valid point. I think we have to find that service. But from my standpoint, since I have to find the resources to support it, it has to be justifiable semester after semester. Because if there's no utilization of that resource, I'll cut it off. Because I don't want to continue to fund a resource that is not utilized by the folks that are supposed to do it. So on both our sides, we have some work to do. Other questions? Ms. Hutchinson, did that answer your question?
Yeah, it answers it. Thank you.
Certainly.
Can I express a concern also? Sorry.
Please.
This is Jake. So I know that we meet a lot of teachers who like to emphasize that, you know, we're grad students, implicating like, you know, we're more experienced when it comes to, you know, undergrad or college in general and what's required of us, which is true. But on the other hand, I just wonder if you could, like, you know, basically emphasize to them sometimes that when it comes to real life, we're facing more, we're emerging into real life compared to undergrad. So when it comes to that, a lot of us are coming straight with our bachelor's degree and we're on our own for our first time. And like, just besides the economic issue that I told you guys about, we're all trying to learn a balance between actually finally taking care of ourselves and also, you know, the balance of trying to make sure we achieve each goals and the goals that you guys want us to achieve, and especially our own. So in order for us to get there and to actually, you know, the purpose of us going to school is so that we can be in a career that we want to be in and be successful and also change the world with our, like, you know, traits and everything. We need this balance and we need them to understand that, you know, everything isn't just school. there's external factors, just like it's external factors with them. And we need that type of consideration because it's like they think sometimes that we don't have, like a death in the family, or maybe we can't pay our rent, or it's all these other things, and we have to put 40 hours in here, and then we also have to make sure that we can go to school and pay for books and all the other, just because we go to school, there's other substantial fees that come out of anywhere. So I just wish like that could be expressed to some of the professors, because sometimes they think we have most of the time in the day and that our full, I understand that our most of our commitment is to school, but we still have emotions and other things going on that aren't fully given to school that we need for our mental health. It's like mental health is not a thing anymore when it comes to grad school. It seems like mental health is not something that they even think or consider sometimes.
Very good. The 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 question of what we have faculty do is a complex one, because each faculty has the ability to run their class independently. My pledge to faculty from the very beginning, and Dr. Jester George, Ms. Cole will tell you, is to show grace, because we don't fully understand the challenges that each one of you is going through. And I make that pledge on a regular basis to faculty. The other side of that coin is, as you've pointed out yourself, is that finishing this graduate school is the number one priority for you. And then other things come. Yes, understanding you have to survive, and mental health is clearly cannot be discounted, especially these times. The challenging times that we face now demands need for us, every one of us, the students, the faculty, the staff, to be sensitive to mental health challenges that comes from all of the things that's happening in the world right now. So I do regularly make that pledge to the faculty. What will not change is the rigor that I make that pledge to the faculty, also indicating to them that I expect them to maintain the rigor of this program to make sure that you're prepared. And that's bottom line. I think most of the things that we do is in anticipation of what you will do when you're done here. So there is an expectation from my standpoint to maintain the rigor of this program while still being compassionate. And that has been my pledge to the faculty on an ongoing basis. And you will see that, I guess, hopefully in the things that I do and how I approach classes, my class, other classes, and the faculty. But the faculty independently have to run their classes. That's my expectation. My role is, and I do it on a regular basis, for faculty to be compassionate, to look at each situation individually, because each person's situation is different from everyone else's. So there cannot be a blanket policy as to how we deal with these situations. There is a blanket policy to be compassionate and show grace. Beyond that, each case is a case by case, and I think you have to work with these people, the faculty, speak to our staff, and let us help navigate that process as well. Other thoughts on this matter or others? Other thoughts? Are there questions from Ms. Cole? Any questions from the chats? that we have not addressed already?
I think so. I think they're talking about emailing student affairs.
Okay. So who does the email come from student affairs when you get those emails? Anyone? So that maybe I could reach out to that person directly.
Hey, Dean, I think they come from a series of people, but Omar Torres is one of the people that is usually on the email. And so one of the things that I've done, like for some students, and I've not seen the probation email, but I'll just do individual confirming that these individuals are all taking online courses and are not on campus. But I think Omar, Dr. Torres is probably the key person. Somebody,
Okay.
I think in the chat, there was a Dr. Suri that says she doesn't respond. So I think starting with Dr. Torres probably is the best person to communicate with.
Yes, and with regard to that, the case that some of you are fully online and not on campus is the exception. Because if you're taking any course on campus, there's an expectation that you abide by those regimen of vaccinations and updates. So this is an exception that needs to be. I wish I knew about this earlier than now, but we'll take care of it, because there's an expectation that in order to keep all of us safe, those that show up on campus have to be on that cadence of taking having the tests and being vaccinated.
So are there other questions, comments? You guys have asked all outstanding questions, and we truly appreciate that, and we hear you. We move forward. The dean and I, we're going into our 4th year here, and I have to say that we've made some changes, and all the changes that they've come from your suggestions. So we can continue this dialogue a little bit later. Ms. Camilla Cole is the dean's assistant. She's also on the call, and I think she may have put her email in the chat to say, to move forward, to connect with the dean. She'll be willing to work with you. Mrs. Cole, did you have anything you want to add?
No, just that I'll put it in the chat again, and I'm here to serve.
Yeah, we're here to, we listen. We are work in progress. We appreciate your voice, because Clark Atlanta only gets better through what you tell us. And if there are no other questions, we have about 26 minutes, and I am excited to hear what's up next. And I'm not going to take long. I just want to let you know maybe 4 sentences. Mark Peets, he's a 1997 graduate. He and his wife are graduates of the MBA program here. He's traveled the country. He's worked at places like Procter & Gamble, SC Johnson, Kimberly and Clark, but now he's the CFO. He's been there for 2 years at the Carnets Management Company. And Mr. Peeks is here to talk to us, to give a little bit more about his experience, because he was he concentrated in finance, but to talk to us as we move to summer, many of us going to our internships or our careers. He's going to talk with us about that executive presence. So without further ado, Mr. Peeks, it's all yours.
Wonderful. I'll call you. Sorry, someone stepped in my office right then. I just wanted to say hello to everybody. So happy to be here. As Ms. Jessica George mentioned, I am a 1997 graduate. Can't believe it's been 25 years. But I was sitting where you all are now back then, trying to find my way and learn about myself and what I wanted to be when I grew up. I worked for Procter & Gamble out of graduate school, interned with them. I've lived in Cincinnati, Chicago, Milwaukee, Virginia Beach, Southern California, and then I've been back here in Atlanta for quite a while now. My career's almost fully been in finance. finance and accounting, had an accounting undergrad. And now I work as the CFO for the Carnets Management Company. We own the Mr. Clean car wash brand. We have about 20 car washes around Atlanta and in Florida. We also build car washes, and we also have a distribution company. All in all, it's about a little over $100 million company that I'm a part owner of. And we're actually right in the middle of finalizing a private equity deal, which we can talk about as well. But that has been an eye-opener this last year. So with that, we are, primed to grow. We want to be one of the biggest car wash companies in the country and have a plan to build basically 2 car washes a month, every month from now for the next 5 years. When I think about executive presence, I can take it a couple different ways. What I think about too, one, kind of thinking about what I'm doing now, and then also a little bit about if I was in your shoes getting ready to go into a summer internship. I interned at Procter & Gamble. I worked on the Tide brand way back when. And I think a couple things are important when you step into that role. One, certainly always be on time, be early, stay late, meet everyone on the team, understand, learn about them, learn about their journeys. I thought it was always good to ask people, how did they get to their position? People love to talk about themselves and their backgrounds. And I think if you do that, you'll find that a lot of people are really willing to be helpful. And what you probably don't realize in those situations is that the people you're working with probably have an incentive for you to be successful. So they're going to do everything they can to help you be successful in your role, because it probably means an opportunity for them to grow. It's an opportunity for them to lead. So keep that in the front of your mind. I'd also just be inquisitive. When you get there, attend. At Procter & Gamble, at least, there were always events going on where the executives would come down, or you could learn about a product or what have you. Go to all of them. Go to all of them. Ask questions. Be present, and make yourself, and just be positive. There's going to be things that you don't know, or that you're not clear on what the direction is on something. Always ask and challenge the assumptions that are there, so that you can take away from that experience something that you can use later. And I went to Procter & Gamble thinking I knew quite a bit about finance, and realized probably only knew about 10% of what I would learn over the years. And so while, school is your foundation, you certainly need to understand and learn what you learn in the classroom, but that just becomes your foundation as you kind of build your career. So I'll stop there on that. And when I think about executive presence in kind of an executive setting, this company was owned by 3 brothers, and I was brought in as the senior finance person. They had a CFO that didn't work out, and I kind of came in and had to do a little bit of cleanup. And so when I think about executive presence in that regard, it's easy to come in and be the new person and point out everything that's wrong. Well, that all you do when you do that is get on everybody's nerves. I took the approach of coming in, identifying what the issues were, but just going about fixing them and not pointing fingers or placing blame, but, more focused on the future. And hey, once we get these things fixed, who do we want to be when we grow up? And so throughout this process, we've been courting investors and getting ready to be part of a bigger organization. And so when you're in a situation where you've got a 30-year-old company where a lot of the people here have only worked here, having a different background, you can help them to frame and understand what the investors are looking for. Right now I heard a young lady ask about, her challenges day to day. There's always going to be challenges. They'll just kind of change as you grow. And so you're always going to have the boss, somebody to report to, even our owner. He's the owner of the company, but he has, millions of dollars of loans out to banks. So we still have people to report to. We still have to do our taxes every year. We still have, compliance issues. And so there's always going to be an audience and someone you're going to have to be presenting to or answering to, even if you are the owner. And so what I've tried to do is anticipate some of the issues he's going to face as we get bigger, and provide him with, feedback, my analysis, but also put him in a position that he's always looking like he understands what's going on and that he can be successful. I think in business, if you understand how your boss makes their bonus, how your boss gets compensated, how the company you work for, what business are they really in, and help to drive that number up, that's where I think you're going to be successful. I think there's a lot of buzzwords and things that people say, and you think, the things that are important, but at the end of the day, really it comes down to, how do you grow an organization, get an understanding of the importance of cash flow and the dynamic between cash flow and income statement, balance sheet, and being able to articulate that. For finance, that is, the one and only barometer. So I spend all my time making sure that, one, I've gotten everything covered from a day-to-day situation, but then also help the organization to grow, and because we're going to face new challenges as you get bigger. And so, a lot of times I try to be out in front and identify the issues, and then let the team decide what's the right course of action. But you also have the opportunity, once you've been around a while and understand the folks you work with, you understand how you can challenge people and how people how they like to receive their information. For instance, I have one of the leaders on the team who, he doesn't mind surprises, but if it's a big dollar issue, he wants to know that first and foremost. In fact, he'd prefer me to keep us from having any big cash issues. So every discussion I have with him, I always start with, no, this is not a big deal. It's not anything that's going to take us off of our targets, but here's the issue. Here's what I think we should do. As the leader, I have finance, accounting, HR, payroll, pretty much the whole office reporting to me. One of the things I learned at Procter & Gamble long ago is about how do you know that you're successful? And ask yourself this, in every situation. If you're in payroll, what's success look like to you? Is it everyone getting their paycheck on time and without any problems? Yes, that's probably a good place to start. But I think another way to look at success is, how have you helped your team in the field who you work with payroll, so that they're comfortable and they are confident in turning in their payroll every week. You got to have goals and objectives, and they have to be aligned with what the broader organization needs to do. And I'll tell you, when I got here, there were quite a few people that had jobs where they just did their job. They came in, they worked for 8 hours. If you ask them, they did a great job. But what is that based on? And so having goals and objectives and being able to say, hey, we will have a successful year if we have 110 million in sales, if we have, X amount of profits, something tangible that you can latch on to and then work towards, as opposed to, well, I got here at 8 and I left at 5 and no one complained about anything, so I feel like I did a great job. When you start talking to private equity companies and come under scrutiny, the name of the game is profitability, growing your cash flow, being able to present and being able to grow as a company. And so those are tangible things that can be acted on. And yeah, we're all nice people, our mother's ways as well, but are we as an organization capable of growing and continuing to grow, and being looked at as being capable and the leaders that they would want to partner with going forward? I think I might have rambled a little bit. I guess I'll stop there for questions, but I would like to say also that, I love Clark Atlanta. I love my time there. Yeah, we certainly face some challenges, but, look at this as an opportunity for you to grow. And, we need to lean on each other. We need to help each other, support each other. My best friend, and I own a couple businesses with him. He was in that class. I met my wife in that class. And I have several friends that have been friends all this time, and they'll call me with an issue or a challenge, and there's probably 8 or 10 people that I still to this day, talk to regularly and consider, lifelong friends. So again, like I said, I was in your seat 25, 26 years ago, and we all need to lean on each other to find our goals, learn about ourselves, challenge ourselves, and grow as we go out into our careers. So I just wanted to share that, and happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you so much for those words of wisdom. Being prepared, being engaged, first of all, learning the environment before you start making decisions, and then working as a team, beginning to knowing everybody, especially in the executives there, being engaged, showing up when needed. Those were all outstanding suggestions as we move forward with executive presence. I have a question, but students, be prepared to ask your question. I'm curious to see, what did you have to clean up when you got there? You said that you had to clean up something.
That's I could spend an hour on that.
Okay.
We had, just for perspective, the company has about 15 different LLCs, and I did 2 years in about 6 months. We had to do 2 years worth of tax returns. The accounting system was not up to par. If you think about a company that was small and grew pretty rapidly over, say, a 3 to 5 year time frame, they just had outgrown quite a few things. And so to get ready to go out to the investment community, the numbers just need to be cleaner. They need to be more obvious. And it just was a jumbled mess. We had tax returns that were done in previous years that they didn't even add up. Yet they submitted them, and ironically, they were accepted by the IRS. So I'm still surprised about that. But we just had to get through the process of turning from a small company into a larger organization.
Okay. Students, do you have any questions? I have a question while we're waiting. Are there any opportunities for students to possibly intern, or are there permanent job opportunities for students with the management?
Not in accounting and finance at the moment, but as I mentioned, we're probably 90 days away from closing this private equity deal, which will be a multi-million-dollar deal, and we're going to start to really expand our business. And I hope that when we're talking this time next year, I'll have something.
Okay, appreciate that. Are there other questions, Dean?
Yes, Mark, could you speak to a little bit about the private equity space and how our students could get involved, engage in that area?
Sure. So in private equity, so there are a lot of, in New York and in California, there's a lot of investment companies that pool their money together and create a private equity fund that then goes out and buys businesses or invests in businesses. And they've kind of gotten a bad rap in recent years that because some of them do things that aren't obvious, the right things to be doing. Ultimately, what they like to do is they come in, they buy a company, they clean it up, fix it up, try to grow it, and then sell it in 5 to 7 years. And so normally it's a company that's going to have quite a bit of growth. So their team goes about analyzing businesses, identifying areas where they think there'll be growth, and then buying into those industries and try to rapidly grow the business, lean the business out, and then sell it to another business that is in the same industry. And so where I see people being a part of it, there's analyst positions. They're usually not right out of school positions, but I interact with a lot of analysts, investment managers, and they're usually 5 to 10 years out of business school type positions where they've worked their way up in those organizations. And so I would say, especially with interest rates being so low, that's what's been driving a lot of these private equity deals, because they're heavily leveraged. So they may buy a business for $100 million and only put in 10% and borrow the rest. And their thought is they'll grow the business, substantially pay the loan back, and then when they sell the business at a higher multiple than they bought it, that's where they reap all their rewards.
Very good, thank you.
So none of these students have any questions for me.
So Mark,
Yes.
This is Cheryl. Did I hear a question from a student?
Yes,
Okay.
in reference to your projection to open, it sounds like a lie. You said 2 per year for the next, I guess, I think 5 years. How do you?
Two per month.
Month.
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys project that 2 per month? I mean, that seems like a lot to open. And I know it's probably in various markets or cities or what have you, but how do you project 2 per month?
Sure. Well, we work with a developer who we've got a team that is out identifying real estate for us in about 10 different cities. And the process is about a year and 14 months to go from finding a piece of property to getting it developed to actually opening a store. And so we've got a group of 7 people that are out around the country in those probably 7 or 8 different metro areas that we're going to look in. And so we're in different stages of closing on buying the land and then turning those into stores. And we've got a team dedicated to, land development, site work, and then we install the building. The whole process, once we own the land, takes about 6 months. And so at any given time, we have about 40 different projects at different stages. But that's what gets the private equity folks excited, because they're stepping into a business that right now has 20 locations, and then in 24 months, if all goes well, we'll have upwards of 50 or 60. And so that's where they see the opportunity, and that's where we're in the car wash space. There's a lot of investments right now, and so we're trying to, we'd love to build up a 100 or 200 store brand, and so we're trying to be as aggressive as we can.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Are there other questions? Students in OB, anything else that you would like to know about executive presence, or even those that are going off, starting your careers? I see Shannon there. Any questions or anything you want to ask?
I have a question.
Yes.
Hello, my name is Hannah Williams. I'm a current graduate student in the MAC program, and I graduate in May. So as an accounting major, what advice do you have for someone coming straight out of school, going into the workforce? Because I would have a job offer with Deloitte. So like, what tips could you give me with going forward with that?
Congratulations, first of all. I would say try to keep it simple. I mean, really get a great understanding of what your boss's expectation, what the organization's expectation are for you in the first 3 months, 6 months. I mean, I would ask specifically, what things should I be doing the first 3 months to be successful? And then go in there and work as hard as you can, as well as get a great understanding of the career progression and what it is how the job you're doing now relates to where it is you're trying to go. But I think the first job, it's all about, making sure that they know that you're competent and that you do a good job day to day, and that you want to be part of their organization. I think that's important. I probably should have mentioned that. Sometimes you see people that take jobs and they don't really come across like they're really all that excited to be there. Well, nobody likes to work with someone who's just lukewarm about the organization. So, try to, as best you can, be excited about being there and let that be known.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck.
Okay, guys, we have about 5 minutes. We'll take one more question.
Hi, I'll jump in and go if that's okay.
Okay.
Hey, Mark, how's it going? Thank you for coming in and speak to us today. My name is Shannon Smith. I am a second-year MBA student here at Clark Atlanta University with a concentration in finance. And my question for you is, how do you go into an organization being a new person and really show like, hey, I'm here to make a difference? What can you do to really get your name out there and let people know that, hey, this is who I am and I'm ready to help?
Great question. Well, I think first and foremost, start with doing the job that they assign to you to the best of your ability. And when I say that, you know, there's always the assignment, but then there's the work behind the assignment. And I think getting the assignment done is one thing, but learning all the different parts of the process, if you will. Have you decided where you're going to work yet?
Yeah, I'm going to be going to Charleston, South Carolina with the Boeing company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great organization. I think, you know, it's such a big organization, you can't, you know, conquer it in 1 year, but you can conquer little things, right? I would try to get an understanding of what was the person who did your job, what are they doing now? And get a couple mentors within the business to say, hey, here's what they asked me to do, here's my approach. Am I thinking about this the right way? But then if Boeing being a big organization like that, I'm sure there'll be plenty of opportunities for you to be involved with the broader organization and just take advantage of all of them. And don't just stick to finance. Meet the people in the other parts of the company, and just be curious. You know, there's so many different aspects to an organization like that. You know, become friends with the engineers. You know, have lunch with folks a couple times a week that you either work with or don't work with, and learn their stories, and just, you know, immerse yourself in all things Boeing. I think that's a great approach.
Sounds
And
good.
luck
Thank you
with
so
that.
much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Shannon, and thank you so much, Mark. Guys, we have 2 minutes. I would just like to thank you, Mark, for being here today. Your words added so much to the students moving forward as they prepare for their internships, or as Shannon and others are stepping into their careers. So I just want to ask everybody to just give Mark a round of applause and just say thank you so much for being with us today. We look forward to working with you in the future.
Absolutely. And if anyone has questions or wants to get in contact, you know, sure, I know you have my information. You can get it from her. When you get to your job, if you need a pep talk or you're having a tough day, you know, you got to have folks to lean on. You know, every day is not going to be easy, but if you push hard, you know, these companies want you to succeed. And, you know, if you need someone to help push you in the right direction, I'm more than happy to help.
Thank you so much for being with us today. As we close out, I did want to acknowledge, Dean, give me 1 minute, I hope. I wanted to do some congratulations. I want to recognize again, and this is for our first year students who are on the call, is that we are national champions. Our team won the National MBA case competition this past September, and we will be participating again. I also want to congratulate the winners of the Blackstone pitch competition. Again, CAU graduate students were winners. I also want to congratulate our case team that participated in the Ohio State case competition. This was our first time entering, and we were finalists. We placed 5th, and everybody that placed received some money. And I'm just so proud of our teams. The other thing is that this is our first time also participating in the Battle of the Brains. We sent a group last week to the Battle of the Brains, and I think it was in Texas, Austin. I think it was in Austin, but Texas, I've not heard the results from that, but congratulations to those students that participated in that. We had students that received the National Black MBA Scholarship. They gave out 4 to graduate students. 3 of those 4 students were CAU MBA students. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We also have a student that's participating in the European Bank and Reconstruction and Development Internship Program. First candidate headed to London for this internship program. Congratulations to that person. The CAU MBA program has been ranked locally in the top 5 MBA programs. And I just want to let you know that you're amongst, you're in great company, as you can see from Mr. Peaks, who has outstanding experience and a legacy of doing great things in his career, but also being a product of Clark Atlanta. We appreciate his give back. Expect to receive a questionnaire because this is how we get feedback as we move forward. And the dean will be hosting, is hosting lunches with this month and next month, but we'll pick it up in the fall with students. So you can come to the table and share those ideas with us as we move forward. And with all that being said, I wanted to see if the dean had any parting words.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jester George. I'll be quick, and I just want to add my thanks to Mr. Peaks for taking the time to be here with us. This is a proud alum of this program who is giving back to this program. Is an example to all of you. Know that this is your school. And I say this to every school I've been. I let the students know that regardless of how you feel about your school, it is your school for life. And you have an obligation, as Mark did today, to come in and try to make it better. One of the points he made, and it was that, I mean, you could get into a situation that's a mess. Pointing fingers does nothing. You go there and have a plan, execute on that plan, and improve the organization. So you have an opportunity to continually improve your school. Please take that opportunity to do so. That's what I do in the schools I went to, because as long as that school stays on top, I am on top. This is your school. So take the opportunity you have, not to tear it down, but to build it up. Thank you all for being here. I am here and available to you. I am here to help. So please take advantage, get a hold of Ms. Cole. She left her email. If you want to reach me, please make sure you include her in the communication so that she makes sure I see that communication. Again, thank you, Dr. Jester George, for making this happen. Thank you, Ms. Cole. Thanks to all of you for attending. We'll see you around campus or on Zoom.
Thank you, Dean. This concludes our meeting, our fireside chat. We'll see you around campus. Thank you guys for attending today, and have a great day.